Hey fam, I am doing this video so you can know what to expect before going on Norwegian Viva. I did a 7-day cruise aboard the ship. Make sure you go check out those videos, each port that I visited, also what I did while I was on the ship itself and how the ship actually looks as I go around the ship. So let's start off with number one, the ship itself. It went into service in August 2023. It is a beautiful ship. Its sister ship is Norwegian Prima. It is not their biggest ship though. So I don't know if you realize that, or if you did not know, it is not their biggest ship. Some people feel bigger is better. It's one of their newer ships before they come up with their next one, but it's not the biggest ship that they have. And so having said that, there are certain areas on the ship that are smaller than you would find on other Norwegian ships. For example, the area around the Lido deck, it is small. You don't even have an area where you can look over onto the Lido deck, like stand on another floor and look down onto the Lido deck. The area is small, and so therefore, outside of the sail away party, they do not have a lot of parties in the Lido deck because the area is small. And so therefore, the back of the ship where I've had sail away parties, that is for the haven. So the back of the ship, Lido deck in the back would be for haven individuals and those people that are staying in the haven. And so they have it in the theater, and the theater is a theater that can maneuver into having seats into this wide open area. And so they try to do what makes sense and make use of the space that they do have. That's all I could say. But it is not as big as possible. So those individuals who love to lay out near the Lido deck, not only that, and try to get food, the buffet is smaller than usual. The buffet is really small compared to other ships. So know that the space can be a little confining in certain areas. There have been complaints I've heard about overcrowding, and because of the fact that my cruise was so port intensive, every day was another port, I didn't really feel that. But if there was a cruise that, for example, it was not as port intensive and maybe there were some sea days, I can see how the buffet could be overcrowded for those individuals who just want to be close to the pool and that Lido deck area. So the buffet, I could see how that could be overcrowded. I could see how maybe restaurants could also be overcrowded because now everybody's trying to eat at the same time. And so it is a possibility. Let me know if you have any issues like that. If you don't have a cruise that is port intensive and you find that there's some overcrowding while you were on the cruise at certain venues to eat. So before going to the next one, can you do me a favor, family? Can you like, comment, subscribe? Click on the notification bell to be informed of future posts. It will greatly help my channel and I will appreciate it. Let's go on to number two, the food. So this is so important for a lot of people, and it is important to me as well. How was the food? I already said that the buffet was small, but even though the buffet was small, the quality of food I liked. I didn't have anything really at the buffet that I didn't care for the times that I did go. So even though it was small, it's not like it didn't have enough. I felt like it was small, but it had just enough for me to be satisfied when I was eating there. The dining room, not only were the dining room beautiful, I feel like Norwegian has one of the best quality of food for the dining room. And so you can't say that on a lot of ships, but by far, I feel like when I went to the dining room and I ate in the dining room, I enjoyed my meals. They have a sommelier there, so if you like wine with your meals, Somebody will be able to tell you specifically maybe what wine goes with what dish. And so I think that is really great. Sometimes you ask waiters and they'll just tell you based upon what you like in terms of like what they have, but they won't really be able to tell you what specifically goes with the meal to be able to have a better food tasting experience. And so the dining room food was good to me. Food was delicious. Now they have other options. So that's why I'm not sure how it would be with the overcrowding, because outside of the dining room, you have the buffet. Their other free options was the indulge food hall, and you also have the local bar and grill, which was more or less 24 hours. And so the indulge food hall wasn't, but I like the indulge food hall because they have different vendors. You are at your table and you order on a tablet. So they have different types of food in the indulge food hall, and you order on a tablet at your table, and they bring the food to you, and it is free of charge. So the food is free of charge. If there's something, obviously, if there's an alcoholic beverage, then you would have to have the drink package or pay for that specific drink. And so I like the indulge food hall. I did go to the local bar and grill. You know, the food was not bad, but I did not go there often. So if you are an individual that go to the local bar and grill, let me know in the comments what you think about that food. And so the specialty restaurants, now they did not have a shortage of specialty restaurants just because the ship was smaller. They had Cagney Steakhouse. They had Los Lobos, which was the Mexican restaurant. They had the Hasuki Teppanyaki, which is like hibachi. They had Le Bistro, which was the French restaurant. They had Nama Sushi, which served sushi. They had Anda, which was the Italian restaurant, and they had Palomar, which was the Mediterranean. I specifically went to Cagney's. I had Los Lobos, and I went to the Teppanyaki restaurant. And so I did reviews on my videos of each of those. And so there is no shortage of specialty restaurants. So if you want to go and do something different, you don't want to just do the dining room, and you don't just want to do free options, and you just want an elevated experience, then you could always book one of these specialty restaurants. Now, next, the entertainment. And so this is important for everybody. There's a friend of mine, and she said that she felt like there was not much to do at night, late at night. And because of the fact, to be honest, that my cruise was very port intensive, I wasn't necessarily trying to do anything till 1 o'clock in the morning. Because I know that some of the excursions I had to do, I had to wake up early. So, but I felt like there was a lot to do at different times of the day, different times of the night. And so maybe not till 1 o'clock in the morning and very late hours, but I felt like I did not feel like I was bored. Just to say that. I did not feel bored on the ship at all. I felt like I planned out my evenings while I was on the ship in such a way that each night I was doing something. So, what do they have to offer? Comedy. So, because the ship is smaller, some of the venues, a lot of the venues are smaller, really smaller than what you would expect on some of the bigger ships and the older ships. And so, comedy, they would have it in the particular venue, improv, but they also would have it a lot of times in the theater. So either you're in the improv, or you go into the theater and then you can enjoy your comedy. Parties, as I said, that they really didn't have parties except for the sail away party on the Lido deck, but the parties that they did have, they had it in the theater. So there were some nights that they would have certain parties and you could just dance the night away if you want to. So they would have those parties in the theaters. Now the shows you would have to sign up for, right? Because they don't want to go over capacity with the shows. So they had Beetlejuice Broadway show, right? Broadway show Beetlejuice. And so that was available for you to go. They had the Icon Show, and then the Icon Show, it was more or less where they featured different stars or different really great singers, and they would do their music with in different sets. So they would do music for different artists at different times in the shows and in the show. So it was great. And then you had Press Your Luck. You ever saw Press Your Luck, that game show? So they had Press Your Luck. And these are things that you would register for. They're free of charge. So all you would have to make sure is that you book your slot of when you wanted to go for the show. And so these are three items I took advantage of, and I went to each of these shows, and they were on different nights. Remember, I did a 7-day cruise. So they were in different nights. So right away, those things would cover some of the things I would do at night. They had live music. They had live music in different venues on the ship. They had live music. It wasn't a lot of people there, but they would have live music. Like in the Lido deck, there was a stage there on the Lido deck right in front of the pool. They would have live music on different rooms and different venues. So they would have live music. If you just like to listen to music, sit down. They would have trivia. So for those individuals that love trivia, they also would have trivia. They had go-karts, right? So they have go-karts. So if you want to go and ride in one of those go-karts, then you can do that. They do have games, and they had darts, and they had video games that you could play. They had virtual games as well. And so they had a lot of things. Everything wasn't obviously open 24 hours, but there was a lot of things across the 7 days or across my cruise that I could say I did this, I did that, or there was a opportunity to do that. They have Deal or No Deal. And so the problem with Deal or No Deal is I've seen Deal or No Deal more or less in an open space, like in the atrium area. And it wasn't a small room. Literally, I went in there. It was like in the improv room. And if you go on that ship, you'll see how small that is. I literally went in there. People were seated, but a lot of people were standing around, with the paper for the show to before it started. And I just kind of went in there and just left. It was just so small to me. There was bingo. There's the casino there. They had water slides. And they also did these other games that is not common games outside of trivia. And they would do that also. So there was a lot to do. So I think that because it was so port intensive, I'm not sure if that's the reason why maybe they could have changed up the program. Maybe it wasn't as port intensive and more sea day driven and more sea days than ports. Then maybe they would have a lot more things at night and late at night. I'm not sure, but this is what I experienced. I hope that you like what I said to you, and you could take this and know before you go on Norwegian Viva what to expect. Thank you so much for coming and seeing this video. Until next time, happy travels.